Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this Bloom Flexibility Flow to Seated Compass. During this class, we're going to work through different poses that are going to help you gain flexibility, everything that you need for the peak pose, which is seated compass. I'll also give you guys a lot of tips and tricks to help you guys along the way. You might need 2 blocks, a yoga belt, a yoga strap, anything that you can think of to replace it. And when you're ready, just go ahead and meet me on the mat.
I don't want your story, I just need a name. Details only bore me, we just came to play. Everyone around you is just in the way. You don't want my story, you just need a...
Alright, so when you guys are ready, just go ahead and grab your blocks, place them towards the top of your mat, because that's probably where you're going to need them to begin with. Keeping your yoga belt by your side, slowly make your way into Sukhasana, or any seated pose that is comfortable for you today. When you're here, I'll invite you to bring your hands to rest onto your knees. Making sure that your spine is straight and long, belly button is up and in. If you haven't already, I'll invite you to close your eyes. Bringing your attention inward, focusing on your breath, setting the tone for your practice. Two more breaths here wherever you are. Next inhalation, raise both arms, cactus the arms to rise, puffing your chest up, forward. Exhale, sway the arms forward, bringing the palm of the hands down on the mat, slowly making your way into a tabletop position. When you're here, making sure that your shoulders are over your wrists, hips are over your knees. Take a big inhale, drawing your chin to your chest, really rounding in the upper back. We're going to take some chest circles. So on your exhale, go ahead and drawing a circle towards the right. So drawing your belly, lifting the tail, lifting your gaze, and drawing a big circle. Again, inhale, chin draws into the chest. Following your breath here. Last one. Stop in the middle and inhale to switch sides. So same idea. Exhale, dropping the belly, lifting your gaze. Last one here. Next inhalation, come back to neutral, tucking the back toes, and let your hips glide you back to a downward facing dog. When you're here, maybe you want to readjust yourself, make sure that you're taking enough space on the mat. Maybe you need to take a few paddle outs in the legs. As always, if you need to modify and keep a bend in the legs and the heels lifted to ensure that you keep proper alignment, I'll invite you to do so. Thinking that you're kind of imagining that your armpits are looking at each other here. Belly button is up and in. On your next inhalation, we're going to take some spinal waves here. So when you're ready, take a big inhale, draw your chin to your chest, roll forward to high plank, really round in the upper back. Exhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze, let your hips glide you back to a downward facing dog. When you're here again, inhale to roll forward. Exhale. Dropping the belly, letting your hips glide you back. Head is the last thing to come down. Last one here. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. When you make it back, let your right leg come up towards the sky, coming in a three-legged dog. Hips are squared here. On your next inhalation, lower that foot down. We're going to take some leg swings. So exhale, kick it up. Inhale, down. Exhale, kick it up. Follow your breath. Up. Two more. Up. Last one. Keep it up. On your next inhalation, look in between your hand. Lift the left heel off the mat. Exhale, lower that heel back down. Kick a little higher. On your next inhalation, bend into that right leg, opening your right hip. Looking up, maybe up and over that right shoulder. Feeling a bit more of a stretch in your side now. Next inhalation, straighten that leg, squaring back your hips. Coming back in that three-legged dog. Inhale, left heel lifts off the mat. Look in between your hand. Go ahead and curl that right thigh to your chest. Exhale, foot comes down on the mat. Inhale, arms come up. High lunge. On your next inhalation, go ahead and cactus the arms. Chest puffs up. Sway forward on your exhale to let it melt into this modified pyramid. When you're here, maybe your blocks are underneath your hands by your side. Whatever you need. Simply letting yourself melt onto that front leg. Belly button is up and in. On your next inhalation, go ahead and come back to that high lunge. On your inhalation, cactus the arms, sway forward, but this time lowering your left hand beside your right foot, taking this side angle here with your right arm straight. Next inhalation, go ahead and sway your right arm forward, lifting yourself up towards the side to come and set yourself up into goddess. When you're here, bringing your hands into the midst of your thighs. Take a big inhale. Chest and heart is lifted. Spine is straight and long. And on your exhale, we're going to take some side twists. So exhale, pressing onto your right side. Inhale to center. Exhale. Press onto the left. Inhale, center. Exhale. Pressing onto your right. Last one here. And exhale. Next inhalation, come back to center. See if you can bring both hands back to center. Inhale, coming to your high lunge. Arms come up and overhead. Take a full breath here. On your exhale, sway towards the side, but this time setting up for side lunge. Maybe your bum lowers all the way down. Maybe it doesn't. That's okay. Keeping maybe your palms together to heart. On your next inhale, go ahead and try and maybe grab onto your left ankle with your right hand. We're going to maybe revolve. So when you're here, maybe you want to grab your strap to loop around your foot and help you. So take a big inhale. Left hand comes up and overhead. Go ahead and try and revolve, taking a side twist here. Mimicking what we're going to do later. Maybe you want to lift the heel off the mat if you feel comfortable. If not, that's totally fine. Next inhalation, come back. Prayers to heart. Take a big inhale, lift back up. Coming back to your high lunge. When you're here, take a full breath. Next inhalation, plant the hands down. Step it back, high plank. When you're here, maybe you lower the knees down. Shift the weight forward, chaturanga, to upward facing, to downward facing. When you're here, take a full breath. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Starting with our spinal waves. So when you're ready, take a big inhale, drawing your chin to your chest, roll forward. When shoulders over wrists, exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail. Let your hips glide you back. Again, inhale, roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail. Last one here. Inhale to roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, bend the knees as much as you need. When you make it back, left leg comes up this time. Three-legged dog. Hips are squared. Next inhalation, leg comes down, leg swings again. So exhale, kick up and down, up and down. Following your breath. Two more. Last one, hold it up. Next inhalation, bend into your left leg this time. Looking up and over that left shoulder maybe. Next inhalation, straighten that left leg, squaring your hips. Inhale, right heel lifts off the mat, bringing that left thigh to your chest. Exhale, foot comes down in between your hands. Inhale, high lunge. Take a full breath here. Next inhalation, puff the chest up, cactus the arm. Exhale, really engage your core. Let yourself melt forward into this modified pyramid. Maybe hands come on your blocks if you used them before. Whatever height that you need to ensure that your belly button is up and in. You're keeping your hips squared. Spine is straight and long. Next inhalation, shift it forward. Back to the high lunge. Take a full breath here. On your next inhalation, cactus the arms, sway forward, but this time letting your right hand come down on the mat, taking that side angle again. Left arm comes up. On the next inhalation, sway that left arm forward, setting up, rise all the way up for a wide leg fold, arms come up and overhead. Exhale, palms come together to heart. When you're here, taking a second to set yourself up, making sure that your heels are in one line, toes are pointing in, heels out. If you're a bit tighter and you need to take a bit wider stance, that's totally fine. Take a big inhale. Arms coming up and overhead. Exhale. Let yourself melt forward. Again, when you're here, belly button is up and in. You're shifting the weight towards the tip of your toes. So maybe your hands on the blocks. Maybe you're grabbing the big toes or the back of the ankle. You have a bit more range of flexibility. Trying to bring the crown of the head down onto the mat. Next inhalation, plant the hands down, coming in a straight back, belly button up and in. On your inhalation, sway towards the side, setting up for your high lunge. Take a full breath here to settle. Next inhalation, sway towards your side, but this time you're setting up for your side lunge. Maybe your bum comes all the way down or not. That's totally fine. Again, maybe you stay here. Maybe you want to take a fun variation. Maybe you want to use your strap, looping it around your foot like this. Grabbing your right ankle with your left hand this time. And you would inhale, arm come up, try and bend towards the side. Maybe you want to start with your strap already in your hand and try and pull on the strap. Maybe walk your hand closer and closer, and one day holding onto your foot. You want to give it a try. Next inhalation, come back to center. Hands come back to prayer to heart. Take a big inhale, lift up, high lunge. Take a full breath here. Next inhalation, plant the hands down, step it back. High plank. Maybe the knees come down on the mat or not, shift the weight forward. Chaturanga to upward facing, to downward facing. When you're here, take a full breath. On your next inhalation, starting with some spinal waves again. Take a big inhale, draw chin to chest, roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Let your hips glide you back. When you make it back, inhale, roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Hips glide you back. Last one here. Inhale to roll forward. Exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. When you make it back, let your right leg lift up. Three-legged dog. Take a big inhale. Your left heel lifts off the mat. Really try and curl that right knee into your armpit. Exhale, bring the foot beside your right hand, setting up for lizard here. Letting your hips sink down towards the mat. Making sure that your wrists are in line with your heel. On your next exhalation, untuck the back toes. Let the knee come all the way down on the mat. Maybe you stay here, heart is lifted, or maybe you lower down onto the forearms. This time making sure that your elbows are aligned with your heel. Again, heart is lifted. On your next inhalation, maybe you stay here, maybe you try a deeper hip opener by letting your right thigh open out, but keeping your heart facing forward. So not taking a side twist here, simply a deeper stretch. Next inhalation, plant that foot down, lift back up onto your hands. Tuck the back toes, press, really press into your hands. Bring that knee, kick it back into your three-legged dog. Next inhalation, left heel lifts off the mat. Right thigh comes to your chest. Exhale, foot comes in between your hand. And set yourself up for a low lunge. Arms come up and overhead. When you're here, maybe you want to have blocks by your side. I want your hands to be right underneath your shoulders. I don't want you to be here. I want you to stay here. So if you need your blocks to help you by your side, if you can't bring your hands all the way down, fingertips, letting your hips sink down here. Imagining that your thighs are kind of like scissors, so pressing against each other. On your next inhalation, go ahead and shift the hips back. Square your hips, coming in a half split. Exhale. Try and let it melt forward. And fold forward wherever you are. Keeping your hips squared, belly button up and in. Focus on your breath. Next inhalation, press your hands down or on your block, coming back to that low lunge. Take a full breath here. If your blocks are by your side, go ahead and move them. Go ahead and plant your hands down. Move your right leg by your side and set yourself up for a full frog. So bringing both knees in one line. Gonna let your right knee glide all the way out. Letting your hips sink down, focusing on that pelvic tilt here. So instead of doing this, really popping your booty out. So your knees are in one line, but your feet are going to come out a little bit. So wherever you are, it's always easier to start on your chest, and then move on to the forearms or your hands. Wherever you are, just focus on your breath. Next inhalation, bring it back into a tabletop position. Next inhalation, bring it back to a tabletop position. When you're here, take a big inhale, drawing your right thigh to your chest. Try and simply step your foot back forward to that low lunge. Arms come up and overhead. When you're here, tuck the back toes. Inhale to lift up, high lunge. Go ahead and take a big inhale, taking your right hand, grabbing onto the back of your leg. Try and take a side twist here. Reaching up and over with that left hand. On your next inhalation, sway to the side, setting up for warrior two. So your back heel is a bit more out. Heels are in one line. Spine is straight and long. Next inhalation, go ahead and shift the weight forward a bit to reverse. Maybe you're using your left hand to grab into the midst of your right thigh. Exhale, dive it forward. Modified side angle, letting your forearm rest into the midst of your thigh. And on your next inhalation, planting the hands down and setting yourself up for a regular pyramid here. So heels are in one line, that back foot still a bit out. Take a little bit more of a shorter stance. Maybe you'll need to put your hands on your blocks. Take a big inhale, straighten your back. Exhale. Try and let it melt. Focusing on keeping your hips squared. Spine is straight and long. On your next inhalation, plant the hands down, coming back into that straight back. Go ahead and take a little bend into that front right leg. Simply try and step forward, coming into setting up for kind of your forward fold here. So maybe you want to place your hands onto your blocks here. Coming into that straight back. So maybe hands are on blocks, belly button is up and in. And on your exhale, go ahead and let yourself melt, holding on to opposite elbows here. Maybe you want to take some movements from side to side. Next inhalation, plant the hands back down on the mat. Come back to your straight back. Plant the hands down. Step it back to your high plank. When you're here, maybe you lower the knees down on the mat or shift the weight forward. Lower down chaturanga to upward facing to downward facing dog. When you're here, go ahead and take a full breath. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Starting with our spinal wave, so take a big inhale, draw chin to chest, roll forward. When shoulders over wrist, exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, let your hips glide you all the way back. When you make it back, inhale, roll forward, exhale. Drop the belly, lift the tail, bend the knees as much as you need. Last one here. Inhale to roll forward, exhale. Drop the belly. Let your hips glide you back. When you make it back, left leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Making sure your hips are squared here. Take a big inhale. Go ahead and right heel lifts off the mat. Look in between your hands. Really try and curl that left knee into the left armpit. Exhale. Left foot comes and set up for lizard. Making sure that your wrists are in line with your heel. On your next exhalation, untuck the back toes, let your knee come down on the mat. Heart is lifted. On your next inhalation, maybe you stay here, maybe you lower down on the forearms. Really letting your hips sink down. On your next inhalation, again, maybe you want to go a little bit deeper by letting that left thigh open a little bit more out. Towards the side, keeping your gaze forward, heart centered. Next inhalation, put that foot back down. Slowly come back onto your hands. Tuck the back toes. Really press into your hands. Curl that thigh. Kick that leg back. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Right heel lifts off. Curling that left thigh to your chest. Exhale. Foot comes in between your hands to slowly make your way into a low lunge. Again, when you're here, maybe you're using your blocks. Don't want this. Stay in the stretch. Observe the sensation, your breath. Be aware of your breath. Don't hold on to your breath. That makes it a lot harder. So try and be conscious of your breath. Next inhalation, go ahead and shift the hips back, keeping your hips squared. Front leg is straight, coming into your half split. Exhale, let yourself melt forward, keeping your spine straight and long. Maybe your hands on your blocks. On your next inhalation, plant the hands down on your blocks, coming back to your low lunge. On your next inhalation, plant the hands down, kick your leg back. We're slowly gonna make our way and take a little puppy pose. So when you're here, making sure that your knees are hips distance, feet are kind of touching the mat. Take a big inhale, drop your belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze. And slowly walk your hands forward, letting first forehead melt down, then maybe chin and chest and throat. Making sure you're breathing here. Belly button is up and in. Next inhalation, bring your hands by your side. And slowly exhale. Sit yourself back onto your heels. Take a full breath here. Next inhalation, come back to that tabletop. Go ahead and try and inhale. Press down onto the mat. Curl that left leg to your chest to step yourself back and set yourself up into that low lunge. Next inhalation, tuck the back toes. Lift yourself up. High lunge. Take a full breath here. On your next inhalation, reach with that left arm this time behind your leg. Right arms reach up and overhead. Take a side twist. Exhale. Set yourself up for warrior two. The back foot is a little bit more out. Arms are straight. Next inhalation, dip forward to reach back and reverse your warrior. Maybe you're grabbing the inside of your thigh with that right hand. Inhale, modified side angle. Forearm rest onto the midst of your thigh. Next inhalation, plant your hands down and slowly set yourself up for a regular pyramid. So shortening your stance, hips are squared. Inhale, squaring your back. Exhale. Let yourself melt. Maybe you have your hands underneath your blocks. If you need, again, to ensure that your spine is straight and long. Alignment is so important. If you want to see progress. Next inhalation, look forward, come into the tip of the fingers, bend a little bit in that front left leg, simply step forward. Take a big inhale, straighten your backs, maybe your feet are together, hips distance. Exhale, let yourself melt into a full forward fold. So when you're here, you're not shifting the weight towards the heels, you're shifting the weight forward. Engaging your core, so inhale, and exhale, shift the weight forward, engaging your core, maybe grabbing onto the back of the heel. Next inhalation, come back to your straight back. Exhale, plant the hands down, step it back to your high plank. Shift the weight forward, chaturanga to upward facing, to downward facing. When you're here, take a full breath. Next inhalation, both heels lift off the mat. Slowly try and tiptoe your way to the top of the mat. When you're here, take a big inhale, hands sway up, coming into a chair pose. So bum sits down. Exhale, go ahead and let yourself sit down, all the way down, coming all the way into your back. When you're here, we're slowly going to start with some active flexibility. So take a big inhale, starting with your right leg. We're going to take some leg swings. So take a big inhale, exhale, kick up. Inhale down, exhale up. Following your breath. Last one, kick up and come back to the middle. Flex your feet. Go ahead and maybe grab onto your yoga belt if you are a bit tighter. Bend into your knee, loop your strap around your foot. When you're here, making sure your hips are squared. On your exhale, you're simply going to try and focus on straightening that leg, keeping your hips squared, belly button up and in. Wherever you are, here, slowly trying to make your way, bringing your thigh closer to your chest. Maybe one day grabbing a hold onto your foot and creating a bit more space towards the side so that your foot can come all the way down to the ground. Next inhalation, come back to center. And exhale, lower that foot all the way down. On your next inhalation, we're going to do the same thing on the other side, starting with our active flexibility. So starting by pointing your left foot, take a big inhale. Exhale, kick up. Inhale down. Exhale. Last one. And come back to the middle. Flex both feet. Again, maybe you're using the strap. Same idea. So creating a little bit of a loop. Bending your leg. Take a big exhale. Slowly, simply working on keeping your hips square, belly button up and in. Straighten that leg. Slowly, bringing your thigh closer to your chest. And maybe one day grabbing a hold onto your foot. Creating a bit more space towards the side to allow you to lower all the way down. Next inhalation, bring it back. Exhale, all the way down. On your next inhalation, bring both thighs to your chest. Exhale, try and rock yourself forward into a seated position. When you're here, you can put your blocks by your side. I don't think we'll need them. So now, bringing the bottom of the feet together, we're going to take a seated bound angle pose. So when you're here, belly button is up and in, spine is straight and long. You want to open your feet like you would open a book. So if I'm facing you, it looks like that. If you're naturally more flexible in your hips and naturally more open, and this has never been a challenging pose for you, you're looking for a bit more of a challenge, you can always add a block or two right underneath your feet. And slowly, same idea, working on bringing your thighs all the way down to the ground. So wherever you are, just focusing on your breath here. I'm gonna face this way. And on your next inhalation, slowly walk your fingertips forward. Maybe try and let your chest, forehead melt down on the mat, wherever you are. Next inhalation, slowly walk your fingertips back by your side. Remove the block if you use the block, wherever you were. On your next inhalation, straighten your legs in front of you. We're simply going to take a seated forward fold. So here again, if you want to work on keeping proper alignment, you know you're a bit tighter, still working on your fold, you can use your strap or yoga belt, regular belt, loop it around your feet like this. Use your arm strength to help you pull your belly button up and in, spine straight and long, and help you fold from here. So wherever you are, take a big inhale, both arms come up and overhead. Exhale, leading with your heart. Belly button is up and in. Let yourself melt and fold onto your leg. When you're here, focusing on your breath. Next inhalation, slowly walk your fingertips back by your side. And now we're going to attempt our little seated compass pose. So first things first, I'm going to face you guys so that you guys can see a little bit better. So first things first, setting up your position. So right foot comes towards your left butt cheek here. First thing you want to do, you're going to go ahead and loop your strap around your foot. Starting by bringing your left leg as high as you can. You're going to take a big inhale, and wherever you can grab your strap, go ahead and do so. And try and pull with your leg to straighten your leg. Still pulling with your arm here. Trying to keep that left hand slowly on the mat, on the ground. Working your leg maybe more behind your head. Slowly maybe using the strap to try and work a higher grip. Wherever you are here, if you don't need the strap, simply same thing. So first step, you're trying to work your leg as high as you can. So if I try and show you from this side, working your leg as high as you can. So you can see now my leg is kind of at my shoulder height, could go higher. Pointing the foot, grabbing with your right hand from the outside, and on your inhale, I'm gonna press my hips forward to help open, kick my leg into my hand. So as you can see, start by bringing your leg as high as you can. That's the secret. So again, wherever you are, just holding here. This is definitely a challenging one. It was a challenging one for me at first. But once you get it, it's really just a nice one that you can add everywhere in your flow. So on your exhalation, try and simply keeping that connection so that your leg is still over your arm here. Simply bring the toes down so your heel is off the mat. Your left heel is off the mat. Maybe stay here. Maybe try and clasp your hands together. Puffing your chest up, taking a twist towards your right side. Next inhalation, playing your hands down, and we're gonna switch sides. So again, first things first, setting your position. So this time bringing your left foot close to your right butt cheek. Slowly trying to working your leg as high as you can. Maybe you're using your strap, so looping it around your foot to help you if you don't have that flexibility yet. So here, grabbing the outside of the feet, right hand is planting down. So take a big inhale, shifting the weight forward, the hips forward, and pulling that leg straight to the side. Next inhalation, lower down, only onto the tip of the toes. Back of the heels stay lifted. Maybe clasp your hands together, puff your heart, taking a twist, looking up and over that shoulder. Next inhalation, slowly making your way all the way onto your back. As you can see, the compass pose is a lot of flexibility, but it's all about practice. So on your next inhalation, take a big inhale, arms come up and overhead, palms are facing up towards the sky. Slowly inhale, both thighs come to chest. Rock yourself back into a gentle flow pose. Flexing the toes here, belly button is up and in. Trying to keep your hips stacked. Next inhalation, maybe you stay here. Maybe if you have a bit more range of flexibility, you bend in the legs. Not doing any crazy contortion move today. Simply enjoying the stretch. Next inhalation, straighten the legs if they were bent. Slowly exhale. And slowly try and let your thighs melt, staying glued to your chest. And let your legs come all the way down onto the ground. When you're here, bring your arms back by your side. We're going to finish this practice by taking a few breaths in shavasana. I truly hope that you enjoyed this Bloom Flexibility Flow to Seated Compass and that I helped give you some tips and tricks on how to achieve compass. Definitely take some practice, but I hope that you enjoyed it. I always love to see you guys flow with me, and I hope to see you guys soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.